Good day. Today you are joined by Phil, who's one of our SuperFund members, who's here to tell her story in relation to retirement. Most of that, the retirement is on her doorstep. And Phil, what can you tell us about your retirement journey? One thing that I understand is that retirement is not a once-off event. It takes a series of decisions, and it's a path that it can be rocky and filled with adventure at the same time. But now the floor is yours to share your story.
Thank you, Douglas. Hi, everyone. So, where do I start? I started at Old Mutual in 1987. It's probably a lot. I'm probably here longer than some of the guys are old. But one of the things I do want to mention, Douglas, is, I started off as a youngster in my early 20s, and here I am in my early 60s, and I really don't know where the 30 years have gone, 38 years. And that's one of the things that I want to just point out, is that we always say that we're going to do things tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, we're going to get to it. Don't be fooled, because time stops for no one. And to start saving, I know you've heard it a million times, but don't put it off, because the day is going to wake up and then it's behind you. You want to retire comfortably. We live in a world of the sandwich generation. You don't want to be the legacy for your children. You don't want to be their inheritance that they have to carry you. So that's the one thing I just wanted to mention. And then the other funny story is, in 2010 we packed up and we decided we were going to immigrate to Australia. It turned out to be the longest holiday for a year and a half, a story for another day.
Yeah.
Okay. But the point I want to make is, when I drove out of Grayston Drive and I opened that boom for the last time and handed in my card, it really felt that my arm had been cut off. And I cried all the way home, sobbing like a lunatic. And I really did not understand why I was crying to leave when I had made the decision to leave. It's not that Old Mutual said, goodbye, we don't need you. I left. And it took me a while in Australia to try and work through this. And I realized that I had based my identity on being an Old Mutual consultant. The fact that I was still a mother, a wife, a sister, an auntie, a friend, before and after, meant nothing, because I had lost my identity. So the message I want to give to the youngsters is, yes, you craft your career, you start saving, you do your best, you get paid to render a service, but remember who you are. Do not lose your identity, because one day, as I said, when the years have passed and you come to retirement, the next day is you're a pensioner. You're no longer an Old Mutual consultant. So you need to know who you are and be comfortable with that. And the last thing, there's lots of things. I can go on forever, but the other thing I want to mention is basically, what about tomorrow?
Yeah.
You wake up the day after you retire. You think, great, I'm going to lie in bed and I'm just going to have my tea. And you do that and you open the curtains and you look outside and you take a deep breath. Then what? You need to not only plan for your savings, for your psyche, for retirement, but you need to plan, what are you going to do after that? A lot of us want to travel. A lot of us won't have the opportunity. Okay. And don't be fooled that you're going to have a hobby or some hobbies and you're going to do those hobbies, because hobbies is how you reward yourself and how you get fun. If you're going to do those hobbies every single day, those are no longer fun. It becomes a chore. So you need to have a life outside of wherever you were when you transition into retirement. There's so much that we can do. There's so much we can give back to the community and get involved. I thank God that I've made a plan. Yeah. I'm debt free. I planned, and I am going to get involved in all kinds of stuff. But that's the message I want to leave with everybody: is don't leave it too late. Yes. Know who you are, and think about the tomorrow.
Wow. So retirement is not the end, but another stage of our life that we need to embrace and plan well for. And having said that, Phil, if there was an advice that you had to give to your younger self, what would that advice be?
So, Douglas, I don't know if it would be to me.
Yes.
It would be to the educators or the people who had the power to educate my generation at the time. Yeah. So I remember one day, so my child never got sugar. On a Friday, she used to get 5 jelly tots.
Yes.
Okay, 5 jelly tots every
Yes.
Friday. She
Yes.
looked forward to it. And I remember doing a survey, even before I knew surveys existed. And I gave her 2 jelly tots the one day. And I said to her, Sherry, we have to share. And she gave me 1 jelly tot back. The next week, I gave her the 5 jelly tots. And I said, Sherry, we have to share. And how many jelly tots do you think she gave back? 1. Now, the first time, it was 50%.
Yes.
The second time, it was 20%. And basically, what I'm trying to say is if the educators of the time had said, it's easy to put money away when you have little, because the more you have, the less you are ready to part with that money. And I think we need to start in the homes and teaching the kids, when you get your weekend job,
Yes.
it's great to have a jawl. You've got this money and we're going to go jawling.
Yeah.
But it's easier to put money away before it becomes your God.
Yes.
And that's what I would say.
So, Phil, the 10-year journey to retirement is quite critical, because that's where you think about what's going to happen 10 years from now. What are those things that you focused on in preparation for your retirement?
So, Douglas, I think one of the things was just getting my psyche ready, but that was 5 years to retirement. 10 years to retirement, we had a 5-year plan, and then that would go on to the next 5 years. And the biggest plan that we had was obviously to become debt-free, to pay off the bond. So we worked out how long it would take us, how much we would have to pay a little bit extra. While we both earning a salary, we pumped as much as we could into the bond, so that when we got there, there's no debts and stuff. The cars are paid off. There's no clothing accounts. We started living but you need less. As you get older, you don't have to buy all the clothing because you're not going out as much and stuff like that. So consolidate all the accounts, and have very little that you owe. The other thing is I started a pre-retirement budget and a post-retirement budget, and I still have it going. So on an Excel spreadsheet, very simple. I know what my expenses are today, and when I go into retirement, I know that certain things will fall away, other things will come in, some will go up and some will go down. And then I always have a look and say, right, this is my salary. When I get to retirement, it won't be that high. It will only be this much. Does this match there? If it doesn't, how do I get how do I get my savings, my retirement savings, to match my budget? And the other thing I did is when I got a promotion or an increase, I would take 0.5% and increase my contributions before I drew it down. And in that way, I didn't feel the extra money wasn't in my account, so I didn't feel the need to spend it because it was already there. And also bonuses. I tried to put some of the bonuses away. Then medical aid is a huge expense, guys. It's probably your biggest expense besides your eating. It's not going to go away. It gets bigger. At the moment, we all healthy, but anything can happen. So you need to bring that into your budget, that you can't go down a notch. You either stay there or even go up. The other thing you need to worry about is scaling down. I mean, we spent our whole life, going into bigger places because you have children, you have family, you have people coming and going, and all of a sudden the kids are left home and you've got this big house. And so what we started, and that was 10 years ago, going through one room at a time and getting rid of things that we didn't need, and then looking for a smaller place. It's containable, something on the ground floor, no steps. I know it sounds crazy, but these are silly things that you need to worry about, no disjointed places where you can walk into, things like that. And then where are you going to live? Once you've moved away from the city or whatever, because you're close to work and you want to move into something smaller, are you close to a hospital, to some kind of facility? How close are you to family if anything happens? Do you have anyone that is close to you? Those are things that I think the financial side doesn't cater for, the softer issues. And then again, as I said, the psyche that today I'm a consultant, tomorrow I'm a pensioner, and just work something out to keep myself busy. And those are the things that I would recommend you look at, because those are things I did, and it did help.
So, and then that's why we always, upon having those member engagements, we always explain that it's every step. That's quite important. Though retirement is more like the end goal, but of importance, you need to take those incremental steps that can take you to the finish line. But thank you so much for your words of wisdom, and I've learned a thing or two, and I'm hoping that all the viewers will also be able to take one or two of the pearls of wisdom and weave them in their financial wellness strategy. Thank you for watching.